All right, I've got the knife out of the wicked edge, and this is what I've come up with. You can see here, this side looks a little bit wavy to me, but it's a guided system, so I'm assuming that that is the knife itself and not my sharpening. I will point out one thing that I could have done a little bit better. I don't even know if you can make it out. The edge is apex, but down here, I did not remove steel evenly, so there's a little triangle of steel, but the knife is sharp. You can see, if you remember back to that other video, the edge was showing light along the edge right here, and I didn't do anything here. You can see there's still some reflection here, but again, this tip is meant for prying and scraping and stabbing, so I'm not too worried about that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back together. I'm gonna use some Loctite because this pivot is free spinning and it will undo itself. I'm going to use some 85 weight nano oil, even though I do have a funny picture I could share. Maybe I'll slip it in here. But anyway, 85 weight nano oil. This is what I use to clean the knife throughout the process. I use this to clean the knife when I was sharpening it. I use this to clean all of the old lube off of the knife, all of that stuff. And I'm going to be, once I get it all put back together, I'm going to be using some of this Ken Schwartz 1 micron CBN slurry. So that will be on this leather strap right here, and then we'll kind of see where we're at. So let's start putting the knife back together. This pivot went in this side of the knife. Let's see here. Of course, it's going to be stubborn because I'm on camera. Let's see. It's such a precision fit that you have to really just line it up and push it through. And like I said, that's one of those things you don't see when you hear people talk about a $450 Chris Reeve knife. Why am I paying that much money for this knife? Precision machining is one of the reasons why you're paying $450 for a Chris Reeve knife. So I'm going to drop this washer on. You can see the wear pattern on the washer. That means that this side of the washer was up against the tang of the blade. I don't know which side was which. I don't get really too hung up in that. You know, some people say it's a big deal. I really haven't found that it's a big deal, so your mileage may vary. I'm going to put 3 drops here. I think that's more than enough. We're going to put the blade back on here, and I should have put some oil on this pivot while I did that. That's my fault. Let me take this off of here real quick. And I like to apply a little bit around the pivot itself. Now we'll put this back on here. We'll work that around a little bit. I'll put a few drops of oil here. And then we'll put this other washer on, same thing with the wear pattern that I hope you can see there. With the wear pattern facing the blade tang itself. So you can see here, this side does not have that wear pattern, but this side does have that wear pattern. So that's going to go towards the blade tang. We will turn the blade a little bit. Let's see here. We will put the knife back together, or attempt to at least. Here, I think we lost a standoff, so let's put this back on here, and then we can slide this back up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to partially close this, and I'm going to tighten this portion up first. So let's find that screw. Let's hope I didn't lose it. Here we go. Let's put this screw in the back here. And again, there are only 2 screws to put this knife together. So we'll put this screw in here. We will find the small Weehaw Allen wrench and we'll get that started. Snug it up, and that leaves us with the pivot. Again, like I said, I'm going to put a dab of Loctite in here just because this is a free spinning pivot and it does have a tendency to loosen itself sometimes. So not a lot, just a little dab. Of course, it's all gunked up. Looking for a piece of paper here, guys. Here we go. So I'm just going to, oops, there we go. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and put it on there. We will put our Allen key in there and I'm going to start. I'm not going to drop it. That's not a good thing. I'm going to start this screw into the pivot. So let's see here. Let's get this started. I should have put this in here the other way. Put the wrench in here the other way, but it's fine. So it's tightening up. It's tightening up. Let's see. It feels like it might be spinning. So let me grab my other Allen key here. And as I hold the other Allen key, I'm going to try to tighten the other side. All right. Okay. Now we're tightening again. So let me try that one more time. I'm going to keep going until, okay, now it's snugged up. I'm going to back off a hair. Let's feel the action. Well, let's look at the centering first of all. Looks to be centered to me. No problem with the action. No blade play. I think that has done it. Like I said, now what I'm going to do is I'll give it a few passes on here and then we'll kind of see exactly where we stand with the sharpness. Sometimes people ask me how to find the angle. Really, you kind of get used to it after a while. You can kind of just feel the right angle, but you'll feel the flat surface of that bevel, especially here. This bevel is fairly wide. You'll feel that flat surface right up against the leather that you're sharpening on or whatever surface you're using. So there's no certain number of strokes I'm going to give here. Maybe 10, 15. I'll alternate a few here just so that way if there's any burr or anything like that, we've got that taken care of. Feels like it's just fine. Let's move this out of the way and let's see what we have here. Let's push cut. All right, I'd say that's sharp, guys. That is the Umnumzaan Tanto that I picked up secondhand, sharpened, disassembled, and reassembled. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.